This is taking over conversations in Philadelphia, my friend. Howie Roseman just made his move in free agency and brought in an explosive wide receiver, a former first-round pick with over $40 million in career earnings. And the timing of this signing raises one massive question about the future of the Eagles roster. Stick with me, because the story behind this move goes much deeper than it looks. If you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because the 2026 offseason is heating up and we're going to cover every single move together. Don't miss out. With the new season approaching, the Philadelphia Eagles needed to answer an old question. Who would be their reliable third wide receiver? For years, that role was filled inconsistently by Jahan Dotson, who just hit the open market as a free agent, while A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith carried the weight of Jalen Hurts' passing attack. But there's something bigger in the air, my friend. Trade rumors surrounding A.J. Brown are still making headlines, and now Howie Roseman went out to the market and brought in a name you definitely know. That name is Marquise Hollywood Brown, and the Eagles just signed the wide receiver to a one-year contract worth up to $6.5 million. The deal was confirmed by NFL insider Jordan Schultz directly on his X account. Hollywood comes off 2 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he played in a Super Bowl, including a loss to the Eagles themselves back in February of 2025, and last season posted 49 receptions for 587 yards and 5 touchdowns in 16 games, his highest participation since 2021. But who exactly is Marquise Brown? Let's go back in time to understand. Hollywood was selected 25th overall in the 2019 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Ravens. There, he played alongside Lamar Jackson, 2-time NFL MVP, and had the best years of his career. His peak came in 2021, when he recorded 91 receptions for 1,008 yards and 6 touchdowns, the only 1,000-yard season of his entire career to this day. He was a fast, explosive receiver who knew how to use his speed to open up the field and create space for his teammates. Then Hollywood grew unhappy with Baltimore's offensive system and requested a trade after that season. Brown himself confirmed it afterward. It was a request driven by personal happiness, nothing more. The Ravens then made a savvy deal. They sent Hollywood and a 3rd-round pick to the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for a 1st-round pick, which they eventually used to select Tyler Linderbaum, a 3-time Pro Bowl center who just signed an $81 million free agent contract with the Las Vegas Raiders. In other words, Baltimore came out of that deal looking very, very smart. For Hollywood, life after the Ravens was rough. In 2 seasons in Arizona, he totaled 67 receptions for 704 yards in 2022 and 51 receptions for 574 yards in 2023, while also dealing with multiple injuries that cost him 8 games over that stretch. In 2024, he joined the Chiefs on a 1-year, $7 million contract, and that's where things got even more dramatic. He missed 15 regular season games due to injury. He came back for the playoffs and played in Super Bowl LIX, the very one the Eagles won. Over 7 NFL seasons, Hollywood totals 371 receptions, 4,322 yards, and 33 touchdowns with approximately $40 million in career earnings. The question that won't go away is this: why did the Eagles go after Hollywood Brown right now? And does this have a direct connection to the future of A.J. Brown in Philadelphia? That's a real conversation, my friend. Multiple sources inside the league still believe an A.J. Brown trade is possible before the start of the season. The All-Pro wide receiver carries a cap hit of $23.4 million in 2026, and if a trade happens before June 1st, the Eagles would still absorb over $40 million in dead cap, making any deal extremely costly in the short term. After June, the dead cap drops to under $20 million, which opens the window for a much more workable negotiation. If A.J. Brown leaves, DeVonta Smith becomes the #1 receiver, and nobody questions his ability to take on that role. Smith signed a contract extension that keeps him in Philadelphia through 2028. In Jalen Hurts' offense, with increased volume, Smith has everything it takes to reach 1,300, even 1,400 yards in a season. In that scenario, Hollywood Brown would slide into the WR2 spot, with depth provided behind him by Darius Cooper and Johnny Wilson, who unfortunately suffered a torn ACL during last year's training camp. But what if A.J. Brown stays? Then Hollywood steps into the 3rd receiver role, exactly the position the Eagles have failed to fill consistently over the last few years. With Brown and Smith commanding the attention of opposing defenses, Hollywood would have room to explode in specific games where the defense is too occupied trying to cover both elite starters. Over 7 seasons in the NFL, Hollywood has already shown that when he's healthy and motivated, he can make a real difference, especially on speed routes and in open field situations. From a financial standpoint, signing Hollywood Brown at $6.5 million is considered fair value, perhaps slightly above his projected market value, which was estimated around $5.5 million. But for the Eagles, with all the cap flexibility that general manager Howie Roseman has built over the years, that number is manageable, especially when you consider what Hollywood brings: a first-round pedigree, pure speed, playoff and Super Bowl experience, and the hunger of a player who needs to prove himself after years of underperforming expectations. It's worth mentioning that before agreeing to terms with the Eagles, Hollywood actually teased a possible reunion with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens on social media. Ravens fans got excited, and even Lamar himself made a joke about the idea. But in the end, it was Philadelphia that moved faster. Howie Roseman made another calculated step in building a roster that is already a Super Bowl champion and now hunts for a repeat. What is undeniable is that Hollywood Brown arrives in Philadelphia with plenty of motivation. He is 28 years old, still with plenty left in the tank. The 2025 season was the most complete he had put together since 2021, with 16 games played, 49 receptions, and 5 touchdowns. It looks like the injury troubles may finally be behind him, and with only a 1-year deal, Hollywood has every reason to play with the mindset of a man locking in a bigger contract for 2027. Think about it. How many times have we seen players arrive at the Eagles in a prove-yourself situation and deliver results that exceeded every expectation? The offensive system built around Jalen Hurts, with the speed and precision that this offense demands, feels like the ideal environment for Hollywood to finally turn his career around in a definitive way. The big question is, can he stay healthy and consistent across a full season? That's the major question mark, my friend. Hollywood Brown's injury history is real, and it cannot be ignored. 7 years in the NFL with multiple injury stints, 1 season in which he missed 15 games. That is something Howie Roseman certainly weighed when structuring a 1-year, $6.5 million contract. The Eagles did not make a long-term bet here. They made a short-term calculated bet with the potential for very high returns. And speaking of returns, the number that matters most is this one: 33 touchdowns in 7 seasons. For a speed receiver who was rarely the number 1 option on any of the teams he played for, that is a figure that highlights just how much production Hollywood can generate when he is placed in the right system. With Jalen Hurts distributing the ball among A.J., Brown, DeVonta Smith, and now Hollywood, opposing defenses are going to have tactical nightmares trying to decide who to focus on. So tell me, Eagles fans, do you believe Hollywood Brown has finally found the environment he needed to show the world everything he's capable of? Or does the injury history and inconsistent production outweigh the promise? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this conversation is only going to get louder as the off-season rolls on. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an Eagles update. Fly, Eagles, fly.